The greatest moments in golf history aren't just defined by the players, they're shaped by the stages where these dramas unfold. Did you know that one major championship venue was built by 200 Scottish immigrants using nothing but hand tools and horse-drawn equipment? Or that another hosted a major just 6 months after being completely underwater in a devastating flood? In this video, I'll break down every significant major championship venue in golf history, the iconic courses that have tested the world's best players and produced the sport's most memorable moments. These aren't just golf courses, they're living museums where the game's greatest stories have played out over decades. And the most surprising part? Some of the most prestigious venues in golf were once considered unplayable disasters before becoming the cathedrals of the sport we know today. Augusta National Golf Club. Augusta National, home of the Masters tournament, wasn't always the pristine cathedral of golf we know today. Before Bobby Jones and Clifford Roberts purchased the property in 1931, it was Fruitland Nurseries, a 365-acre plant nursery that had fallen into disrepair during the Great Depression. The course was designed by legendary architect Alister Mackenzie, who never saw the finished product. He died in January 1934, 2 months before the first Masters tournament. Mackenzie and Jones created a course that emphasized strategy over punishment, with wide fairways, minimal rough, and dramatically contoured greens. What makes Augusta National unique among major venues is that it's the only one that hosts a major championship every year. This annual examination has allowed the club to continuously refine the course, adding length and difficulty as equipment technology has advanced. Since 1934, the course has been lengthened from 6,700 yards to over 7,500 yards. The most significant changes came under Chairman Hootie Johnson in the early 2000s, when the course underwent what players called tiger-proofing, extensive modifications designed to counter the increasing distances achieved by Tiger Woods and other long hitters. These changes included adding nearly 500 yards, narrowing fairways, and planting thousands of trees. Despite these modifications, Augusta National has maintained its essential character as a second-shot course where precision approach play and putting skill typically determine the champion. The absence of rough, Augusta calls it the second cut, and the presence of wide fairways still allow for creative shot-making, even as the course has grown more challenging. St. Andrews, Old Course. The Old Course at St. Andrews. Andrews, known simply as the home of golf, is the most historic venue in major championship history. Golf has been played on this same strip of land since at least the 15th century, making it the oldest golf course in the world. What many don't realize is that the Old Course evolved naturally rather than being designed. For centuries, sheep grazed the land, creating the short grass areas. Early golfers avoided the gorse and heather, establishing natural fairways. The bunkers were originally shelters for shepherds and their flocks, later deepened by animals seeking protection from coastal winds. The Old Course has hosted the Open Championship 29 times, more than any other venue. Its most distinctive features include the massive double greens. 7 greens are shared by 2 holes each. The infamous Road Hole 17th, with its blind tee shot over the Old Course Hotel, and the Valley of Sin fronting the 18th green. Despite its storied history, the Old Course has been criticized during recent Opens for being too easy by modern standards. In 2022, Cameron Smith won with a score of 20 under par, leading some to suggest the course had been rendered obsolete by modern equipment. However, when the wind blows, as it did during the 2015 Open, the Old Course can still provide a stern test, with its 112 bunkers and firm, fast conditions challenging even the world's best players. What truly separates St. Andrews from other major venues is its accessibility. Unlike most championship courses, the Old Course remains open to the public, with tee times allocated by lottery. This democratic approach to golf's most hallowed ground reflects the Scottish view that the game belongs to everyone, not just the elite. Pebble Beach Golf Links. Pebble Beach Golf Links, perched on the cliffs of California's Monterey Peninsula, represents the pinnacle of American public access golf. Opened in 1919, the course was designed by Jack Neville and Douglas Grant with a simple philosophy. The simplest thing to do was to let nature lay out the course. We just followed nature. Unlike most major championship venues, Pebble Beach wasn't created to test the world's best golfers. It was designed as an amenity to sell real estate. Developer Samuel F. B. Morse, a distant cousin of the Morse code inventor, acquired the property and recognized its potential as a destination that would attract wealthy buyers to the area. Pebble Beach has hosted 6 U.S. Opens, with the first coming in 1972 when Jack Nicklaus won with a total of 290 plus 2. The course's signature holes include the par 3 7th, a downhill 106-yard shot to a tiny green surrounded by crashing waves, and the par 5 18th, which hugs the coastline of Stillwater Cove and has been the site of numerous dramatic finishes. What makes Pebble Beach unique among major venues is its combination of small greens, averaging just 3,500 square feet compared to the PGA Tour average of 6,600, and stunning ocean views. The course features 9 holes that run directly alongside the Pacific Ocean, creating both strategic challenges and unparalleled scenery. Despite its beauty, Pebble Beach presents a serious championship test. Tiger Woods' 15-stroke victory in the 2000 U.S. Open stands as the most dominant performance in major championship history, yet he remains the only player to finish a U.S. Open at Pebble Beach under par. If you're enjoying this journey through golf's most iconic venues, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. I'm constantly exploring the courses, players, and moments that have shaped golf history. Drop a comment below telling me which major championship venue you'd most like to play, and I'll share some insider tips about getting on these legendary courses. Now, let's continue our tour of golf's greatest stages. Oakmont Country Club. Oakmont Country Club near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, has a well-earned reputation as possibly the most difficult championship test in America. Founded in 1903 by industrialist Henry Clay Founds, Oakmont was intentionally designed to challenge and frustrate golfers. What makes Oakmont unique is that Founds, who had never designed a golf course before, created what many consider the ultimate examination of golf skill. The course was literally built on the site of a former farm, and Founds instructed workers to leave the drainage ditches unfilled to serve as hazards. Oakmont's fearsome reputation comes from its lightning-fast greens and approximately 175 bunkers. The most famous is the Church Pews bunker, a massive hazard between the third and fourth holes, featuring 12 grass ridges that resemble church pews. The bunker is so distinctive that it's featured in Oakmont's logo. The course has hosted 9 U.S. Opens, more than any venue except for Baltusrol. When the club hosted its first U.S. Open in 1927, winner Tommy Armour posted a score of 13 over par. In the 2016 U.S. Open, winner Dustin Johnson finished at 4 under, showing how much golf equipment has evolved, since the course itself hasn't changed much in a century. What's particularly remarkable about Oakmont is its lack of trees. Originally, the course was completely treeless, designed as an inland links. In the 1960s, thousands of trees were planted to beautify the course, but a restoration project beginning in the 1990s removed virtually all of them, returning Oakmont to Founds' original vision of a windswept open challenge. Pinehurst No. Pinehurst No. 2 in North Carolina represents the genius of legendary architect Donald Ross, who considered it his masterpiece. Born in Dornoch, Scotland, Ross came to America in 1899 and found in the sandhills of North Carolina a landscape reminiscent of his homeland. What makes Pinehurst No. 2 distinctive is its crowned, turtleback greens that repel approach shots that aren't precisely struck. Ben Hogan famously said that a shot landing on a Pinehurst No. 2 green was like a ball landing on the back of a VW Beetle. The course has hosted 3 U.S. Opens, with the first coming in 1999, when Payne Stewart won with an iconic 15-foot par putt on the 72nd hole, just months before his tragic death in a plane crash. In 2014, Pinehurst made history by hosting both the men's and women's U.S. Opens in consecutive weeks, with Martin Kaymer and Michelle Wie claiming victories. In 2010, the course underwent a controversial restoration by Ben Crenshaw and Bill Coore, removing rough and reintroducing native waste areas with wiregrass and sand. The project actually reduced the amount of irrigated turf from 90 acres to 50 acres, returning the course to its original appearance and making it more environmentally sustainable. What separates Pinehurst from other major venues is its centrality to American golf history. The resort's first course opened in 1898, and it quickly became the winter golf capital of America, attracting wealthy northerners seeking to escape harsh winters. Today, the Pinehurst Resort features 9 courses, but No. 2 remains the crown jewel and a regular U.S. Open venue. Shinnecock Hills Golf Club. Shinnecock Hills in Southampton, New York, holds the distinction of being the oldest incorporated golf club in the United States, 1891, and one of the 5 founding member clubs of the USGA. The course has hosted 5 U.S. Opens, with the first coming in 1896, making it the only club to host the championship in 3 different centuries. What many don't realize is that Shinnecock Hills was the first golf club in America to admit women, with a ladies' clubhouse built in 1892. Even more significantly, it was designed with input from the first American-born golf professional, Willie Dunn, and later redesigned by William Flynn in 1931. The course is known for its links-like conditions, with windswept fairways, tall fescue rough, and undulating greens. Built on land once owned by the Shinnecock Indian Nation, the course sits on sandy soil that provides firm, fast-playing conditions similar to those found in the British Isles. Shinnecock has been the site of multiple U.S. Open controversies. In 2004, the seventh green became virtually unplayable during the final round, with balls refusing to stay on the putting surface. The USGA was forced to water the green between groups, creating inconsistent conditions that many players criticized as unfair. What makes Shinnecock Hills special among major venues is its authentic links-like character in an American setting. Unlike many American courses that attempt to mimic links golf with artificial features, Shinnecock's windswept terrain and natural contours create a genuine test of links-style golf that rewards creativity and shot-making over raw power. Royal Street George's Golf Club. Royal Street George's in Sandwich, England, holds the distinction of being the first course outside of Scotland to host the Open Championship, doing so in 1894. The course has hosted 15 Opens, making it the most frequently used English venue for the championship. What makes Royal Street George's unique among major venues is its wild, undulating fairways that produce unpredictable bounces. Even perfectly struck tee shots can end up in trouble due to the dramatic contours. As five-time Open champion Tom Watson said, "It's so much like a links course that sometimes your ball lands 30 yards from where you think it will." The course is known for its massive bunker on the fourth hole. At 40 feet deep, it's the deepest bunker in championship golf. Legend has it that in the 1979 Open, a marshal had to be lowered into the bunker by rope to locate a ball hit by Japan's Tommy Nakajima, leading to the hazard being nicknamed Nakajima's Bunker. Royal Street George's has produced some of the most dramatic finishes in Open history, including Darren Clarke's emotional victory in 2011, coming after years of personal tragedy, and Colin Morikawa's brilliant iron play to win in 2021. The course has also featured in literature, appearing as Royal St. Mark's in Ian Fleming's James Bond novel Goldfinger. What separates Royal Street George's from other Open venues is its combination of beauty and brutality. The white cliffs of Dover are visible in the distance, while the course itself presents one of the sternest tests in championship golf, with deep bunkers, punishing rough, and constant exposure to coastal winds. The venues that host golf's major championships aren't just pieces of real estate. They're living museums that connect the modern game to its roots. From the natural evolution of St. Andrews to the intentional difficulty of Oakmont, these courses reflect different philosophies about how golf should be played and tested at the highest level. What makes these venues special isn't just their difficulty or beauty, but their ability to identify truly great champions while creating moments that define careers. The best major championship venues don't just host tournaments. They actively participate in the drama, rewarding certain skills while punishing others. As golf continues to evolve with technology and changing player capabilities, these historic venues face the challenge of remaining relevant while preserving their essential character. The most successful have found ways to adapt without sacrificing their identity, ensuring that major championships continue to provide the ultimate test of golf skill. If you enjoyed this tour of golf's most iconic venues, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I'm constantly exploring the courses, players, and moments that have shaped golf history. Drop a comment below telling me which major championship venue you'd most like to play, and I'll see you in the next video.